Hello and welcome to the Small Business Dream Social Connect, or more specifically in today's demo, Twitter functionality. We just think for a long time people have been doing Twitter the wrong way and engagement has dropped. So we actually built a tool to add to Small Business Dream with the idea that using a proper tool to make Twitter more efficient and to curate lists, we think we could solve the Twitter issues. So we're going to start by going into the Social Connect function within Small Business Dream. It's already connected to our Twitter account, so we can import the followers that are new since the last time we imported. Now you'll see at the top where we have followers and following. So followers are all the people that we are currently having follow us. And now we need to decide, do we want to follow them back? Or if they are our actual sort of target market, meaning in our case, we're looking for restaurants and small business owners, we can actually grab them and then curate them to a specific list. So for example, if we go down here to JSW Media, we can see from their tweets and from their profile that they're about Twitter and social media. So we happen to have some categories set up. So if I wanted to add this person to a curated list outside of Twitter, now keep in mind, we're not talking about Twitter lists that are nice and beautiful but basically do nothing. We're now talking about actually bringing your Twitter data into the real world so you can start semi-automated or automated follow-up series of information to slowly engage with this person. So if I actually want to learn a little bit more, I can actually click on the website link and it'll instantly bring up their website for me to take a look at. And all of this is important because we want to be able to semi-automate all of the information we give them. So we take a standard message and then we add to it something about them. So here, there's not a whole lot here. Social media managing rates start at $90 a month. So maybe that's the thing that I use to sort of make them realize that I've paid attention to what they have. So if we go back into the tool, I can say I'd like to add them to contacts. Now, once I go to add them to contacts, I go down here and I can actually see a little bit more information as far as adding them. If through their website I've taken the time to find their email or phone number, I could add it here and add them as a full contact instead of just a Twitter contact. And then down here, you can see it says subscribe this follower to a campaign. Now we know they were Twitter, and we've already set up a Twitter experts follow-up series, and now it's saying choose a category. So I also want to add them to the Twitter category or the social networking. So here's Twitter Gurus. I'm going to add them to the Twitter Gurus category. I'm going to take a look at their tweets to make sure that they're current 5 hours ago. So this is an active account. This is worth me trying to engage with this person from the point of view of what we do and what we sell and what we're trying to create engagement with. So I could also like something they do and retweet something they do in order to get their attention, to try to get them to like me back or follow me back. So right now we're just going to decide that we've got this person and we want to send them a direct message through a series that's semi-automated. So I click import as contact and it says, great, do you want to send the very first direct message to JSW_media? I say okay. And now I can actually see the generic message that we had set up in advance. This is message number 1 of as many as I like. And then I can put a time after this one until they show up on my list again to send them another one. So I can say here, we love the varying views of Twitter, expert and marketers. We believe Twitter is going to make a comeback. So this is actually our standard message that we've already put in. So we can then go right to the top here and I can add, because this is a semi-automated situation, something about them. So I can mention something from their profile, or as I had looked at their website before, social media managing rates start at $90 a month. So I'm going to use that as the thing to zero in on. So I'm going to say, great website. I saw you do social media managing rates starting at $90 a month. Now they know that I've actually taken the time to engage with them. I've looked at their stuff. I'm a real person. And then I go into just a very simple approach. Of course, all the content you can do yourself. Right now, we're just trying to show you how the system works. So as soon as I hit send, that person is off my list. So now I might go and take a look, and maybe there's people that are not actually appropriate to my business. So here's Julian, looks like a great guy, but he's a wanderer who dreams of flying, writer, entrepreneur, designer. I don't really have anything specifically that I'm trying to target to a fellow like this. So I'm going to go up to the ignore button and I'm just going to say ignore forever. This has no impact on my Twitter account, no impact on the fact that he's following me on Twitter. This is just 100% about making sure I don't bring him into the small business dream system as extra contacts or extra. I don't want to do anything with him. So I've basically just made him not come into the system forever. Who knows? Maybe I'll trip across him again later. So we've looked at the people that are following me. Now we're looking at the people that I'm following. Okay, so the key here now is to try to get engagement. So if I take a look, for example, at this Tobin Kochman, he has not followed me back. So I might want to take a look and see, well, what have I done to deserve that follow back? And I can see that I haven't mentioned, liked, retweeted, or messaged anything he said. So I could take just a second to come here and just like something to see if that captures his attention. And then I can say, great, I've done something. Let's make him go away for 3 days to see if that got him to follow me back. See, we don't believe that unfollowing everyone who doesn't follow you back is the smartest strategy, because if you haven't done anything to try to engage with them, why should they follow you back? So this is sort of the nuts and bolts of what we do here. So now let's say I came to someone who I had done a whole bunch of stuff with, and I don't think I have one here, but when I click on engagement, it shows me that I've mentioned him twice, I've liked 4 things, I've retweeted 5 things, and I've direct messaged him 3 times, and he still hasn't followed me back. Well, that's where we'd go ahead and we'd do the unfollow. So it gets more and more efficient the more you use it. It's very, very quick to engage the people following you and now go after putting them into a particular list. Also, once people follow you back, they show up on the other list. So followers is where you engage with people. Following is where you try to engage with them to get them to actually follow you, at which point, of course, it's now fair for you to send them a direct message. So that's basically our little Twitter tool, a way to actually curate real lists outside of Twitter. And then you have the ability to send messages to them. So what happens once we've got them into a Twitter follow-up series? What happens when it's time for message 2? Well, we're glad you asked. So if we actually go back to the calls and contacts and we look at the action list, we're actually going to see up at the top what we call the social series. Social series are all the people that are in for a follow-up message. So if we look at Figaro's Pizza, he's ready to get the restaurant series number 2 of 2. And it says, you know how managers of restaurants are always trying to find ways to fill the restaurant slow days, right? So now I can actually go and take a look at this person's actual profile. I can take a look at their latest tweets, and I can say, wow, look at that. Boy, do those pictures but boy, does that pineapple look succulent on that pizza. So I can go ahead and I can add my custom little bit to the front of this message. This pineapple picture is just to die for. I love pizza, probably my favorite food. And then I go into the standard number 2 message that I had already pre-set up. So it's just all about getting micro-targeted, so you have lots of lists that are very specific, and then getting into actually following up in a way that creates value. So I haven't tried to sell anybody anything. The first one, I offered them the ability to send me something that they want retweeted about a happy hour or a special or a nice picture, and we'll retweet it for them, because that's what we do at Small Business Dream. And now this one's basically saying, hey, you know how managers of restaurants are always trying to find more ways to fill their restaurants? Well, hey, we got a blog article that would just be something that might be of interest to you to read. And now, of course, we're dealing with an actual article about a restaurant, and they're a restaurant. Holy smokes, are we ever fitting in right here? And then we actually go for the opinion approach. We say, hey, here's our article. What do you think about it? Tell us what you think's missing with it. So it's trying to be engaging because we legitimately want to hear what they have to say. We legitimately want to get into a relationship with them, and then possibly we can help them with their business. So it's a way to get really, really direct, but stay semi-automated. Of course, if somebody wanted to just automate it and hit send, you can absolutely do so. We don't think that's the way to use the tool. The Twitter API will eventually block you out from doing such things. But boy, oh boy, when you do semi-customization or semi-automation in this way, we've been finding engagement rates as much as 25% after our 3rd message. Now, one of my favorite features is once you've curated this list, we can actually do a message send or a direct message to all of the people that we've curated into our lists. So we do that by going into the campaigns and we say email group. So it's kind of like an email. It's a Twitter email or a Twitter direct message. And now I can see all the categories that I've set up in the system and how many people I have in each category. So I can see that I have 32 people in my restaurant category. So if I wanted to send some new blog, a notification of a new blog entry that I've done just to restaurants, I could come in here. I could click, I want to send it to restaurants, and it would go to those 32 people. If I wrote something more generic and I want it to go to restaurants and consultants and social media people and Twitter gurus, I could do that, and now it would go. And that's going to take this communication, and it's going to send it out in the same semi-automated method. So it's going to line it up on my action list. I'm going to go in. I have the ability to customize one sentence above, or I can just go ahead and send the generic message. But it allows me to now go and communicate by direct message with large groups of people in an automated or a semi-automated method. It's so powerful, and it gets great results. So that's how our tool works. That's just one little component of Small Business Dream. It can also handle all your phone calls, all your email follow-ups, email education, surveys, all kinds of great stuff. Please watch a couple of other videos, and you can learn a little bit more about this tool. But right here, if you're looking to build a following in Twitter, my goodness, can this tool ever help you do it in a proper way? Thanks for listening.